When a narcissist finally realizes he has hurt the one person who truly loved him, it doesn't feel like a small mistake. It feels like an earthquake. At first, he may try to deny it, telling himself she'll forgive him as always. But deep inside, fear creeps in. For the first time, he wonders if this time is different, if the damage he caused has gone too far to repair. At the moment of realization, panic often sets in. He remembers every word he twisted, every moment he dismissed her feelings, and every time she cried while he turned away. Suddenly, those memories don't feel like victories. They feel like daggers. He begins to understand that his cruelty may have cost him the only person who ever saw past his mask and loved him anyway. The narcissist's first instinct is to cover the wound with arrogance. He may brag louder, act colder, or insist he doesn't care. But this act is thin. Behind closed doors, regret begins to creep in. He replays conversations in his mind, thinking about what he should have said. That sense of invincibility fades, replaced by a gnawing fear that he has ruined something irreplaceable. When the weight of his actions sinks deeper, anger rises. He doesn't want to admit fault, so he projects. He may lash out, telling himself she overreacted, that she's too sensitive, or that she pushed him away. But the truth lingers like a shadow. He hurt someone who truly cared. Anger becomes a mask for shame, and even he can't outrun the echo of guilt. At night, regret hits the hardest. Alone with his thoughts, he can't escape the silence. He remembers her kindness, the way she believed in him, the loyalty she offered despite everything. Now that it's gone, the emptiness feels unbearable. For the first time, he faces the reality that he destroyed something genuine. The regret doesn't fade. It grows heavier with every passing day. Some narcissists try to patch the wound with false promises. They may return with flowers, grand apologies, or emotional confessions. But deep down, they aren't offering true change. They're offering desperation. They hope the gestures will erase the damage, but the sincerity is thin. And when their attempts fail, they collapse further, realizing charm no longer has the power it once held. Others slip into denial. They tell themselves she'll return, that love this deep can't be broken. But denial is fragile. Each day without contact feels heavier, every silence louder. The narcissist starts to see that his certainty was an illusion. The more he denies the truth, the more paranoia grows. Deep down, he knows love doesn't always wait, and this time, it may be gone forever. The realization also sparks envy. He imagines her healing, smiling again, maybe even finding someone who values her. This image burns him because it proves what he fears most. She can thrive without him. While he spirals in regret, she grows in peace. This imbalance fuels jealousy, and his envy becomes another reminder of the damage he caused to the person who loved him the most. Shame begins to eat at him quietly. On the outside, he pretends to move on, but inside, he replays moments where he could have chosen kindness instead of cruelty. Shame whispers that he destroyed the one safe place he ever had. He knows others tolerated him, but she accepted him fully. Now that acceptance is gone, and his pride can't silence the shame forever. When the narcissist realizes he has hurt his true love, the collapse is inevitable. He may cycle through anger, denial, guilt, or arrogance, but nothing erases the truth. The damage is done. He learns too late that real love isn't indestructible. It requires respect and care. And when it's gone, he faces a haunting truth. He didn't just lose her. He lost his only chance at real love. After the first wave of regret, the narcissist often scrambles to regain control. He may reach out with sudden kindness or dramatic gestures, hoping she'll forget the pain. But these actions feel hollow because they aren't rooted in genuine change. Deep down, he knows she's seen the truth. The harder he tries to cover it, the clearer it becomes that his love was destructive. He starts to notice the absence of her energy, the encouragement, the compassion, the forgiveness she always gave are gone. Without it, his life feels strangely empty. He may surround himself with others, but nothing replaces the warmth she brought. Every conversation feels shallow compared to hers. This emptiness is the beginning of his downfall, and he can't outrun it no matter how he tries. Narcissists thrive on control, but when he realizes he has hurt his true love, that control slips away. Suddenly, she's no longer reacting to his games. Her silence feels louder than any argument they ever had. He can't manipulate silence, and it terrifies him. For the first time, he's forced to face himself without her steady presence to validate his fragile ego. As days pass, guilt sneaks in. He remembers the promises he broke, the times she begged to be heard, the moments he dismissed her tears. These memories return like ghosts, haunting him when he least expects it. He may drown them out with distractions, but guilt never leaves. It follows him like a shadow, a constant reminder that he destroyed the one who cared most. In public, he still performs. He laughs louder, posts about his success, and insists he's fine. But behind the mask, cracks appear. At night, when no one is watching, the weight of his actions feels crushing. The realization that he hurt his true love doesn't fade. It deepens, and the performance that once fooled others begins to exhaust him, leaving him feeling trapped in his own act. Sometimes he imagines what could have been. He pictures a life where he valued her, where he listened instead of mocked, where he gave instead of only took. These fantasies bring momentary comfort, but quickly turn bitter. Because deep down, he knows that version of him never existed. He can't rewrite the past, and the life he imagines is one he destroyed with his own hands. The realization also brings paranoia. He wonders if she's telling others the truth, if people are finally seeing the mask he worked so hard to maintain. Every silence from her feels dangerous, as though she's holding the power now. This paranoia eats at him, making him restless and defensive. In trying to protect his image, he only exposes more of his weakness to the world. When he hurt his true love, he didn't just lose a relationship. He lost his safety net. She was the one who forgave, who believed, who stood by him even when others walked away. Without her, the world feels colder. He may look for that same devotion elsewhere, but no one offers it the way she did. He begins to realize that her love was truly one of a kind. The regret turns into obsession. He checks her updates, asks about her through others, or replays old conversations. He can't let go because he knows he ruined something rare. But the obsession isn't love, it's desperation. He's not mourning the relationship, he's mourning the control he lost. The difference is subtle, but it's what keeps him stuck in regret without ever truly changing. Ultimately, when the narcissist realizes he has hurt his true love, he faces a truth he cannot undo. His arrogance cost him the one person who saw his soul and still stayed. Now he stands alone, surrounded by the wreckage of his choices. The collapse isn't dramatic at first. It's slow, steady, and deeply painful. And it reminds him daily of the love he destroyed. The collapse grows stronger when he notices her strength without him. At first, he assumed she would crumble, that she could never survive his absence. But watching her heal, smile, and live in peace rattles him deeply. Her independence is proof that his control was never as strong as he imagined. Each step she takes forward is another reminder that he lost someone irreplaceable. His pride tells him to move on quickly, so he may flaunt a new relationship. Yet deep down, every laugh and every smile with someone else feels hollow. He compares the new person to his true love, realizing nothing matches the depth he once had. The more he pretends to be happy, the more the emptiness grows. Pretending only magnifies the truth he cannot accept. At work or in social circles, he begins to notice small shifts. People no longer trust him the way they once did, sensing his instability. His charm feels rehearsed, his confidence forced. What he did to her begins leaking into other areas of life. Without realizing it, he carries the weight of that mistake everywhere, dragging it like a shadow into every future interaction. The narcissist may also try to rewrite history. He tells himself and others that he wasn't really in love, that she exaggerated her pain, or that he left first. These mental gymnastics give him temporary relief, but they don't erase the truth. The more he rewrites, the more energy he spends maintaining the illusion. And every lie he tells himself, makes the collapse heavier. When he realizes the love he destroyed was genuine, bitterness sets in. He begins to resent her for being strong enough to walk away. He twists the story, blaming her for giving up when in reality she had no choice but to protect herself. This bitterness poisons him from the inside, leaving him stuck in a cycle of anger that blocks any chance of growth. The nights grow heavier, filled with restless thoughts. He replays the sound of her laughter, the way she looked at him with trust, and the moments she believed his empty promises. These memories, once sources of pride, become daggers of regret. He begins to understand that hurting her didn't just break her heart, it shattered his own chance at ever experiencing unconditional love again. Narcissists thrive on validation, but when he loses his true love, validation feels shallow. Compliments from others don't matter, because deep inside he knows they don't see the real him like she did. She saw through the mask and still stayed, and now she's gone. That loss creates a void no crowd or new partner can fill, no matter how hard he pretends otherwise. Eventually, cracks in his facade become too big to hide. Friends notice his defensiveness, colleagues sense his distraction, and even casual acquaintances feel something is off. The realization that he hurt his true love eats away at him until it shows. He may smile, but it's empty. He may boast, but it sounds forced. The mask that once fooled everyone begins to collapse. Sometimes the weight of regret drives him toward self-destruction. He may overindulge in reckless behaviors trying to numb the pain. But no distraction lasts. The regret always returns, sharper than before. What makes it worse is knowing the pain is self-inflicted. He can't blame fate or chance, only his own actions. And the future he faces is shaped by the choices he made. Ultimately, the realization that he hurt his true love becomes a life sentence. He may continue to deny, distract, or perform, but deep down, he knows the truth. He destroyed the one bond that could have saved him, the one person who would have stood by him no matter what. And that truth, once planted, never leaves. It haunts him, echoing louder with time. When he finally sits in silence, the weight of her absence feels unbearable. The phone no longer buzzes with her thoughtful messages, and the warmth of her presence is gone. He realizes she was the anchor that kept him steady. Without her, his world feels chaotic and unstable. This realization doesn't bring clarity. It brings panic, because he knows he created the silence himself. The narcissist often tries to replace her quickly, but every attempt reminds him of what he lost. New relationships feel shallow, filled with games and surface-level connection. He can't replicate the depth of love she offered. The comparison becomes painful, because he sees how rare her loyalty was. Each failed attempt at replacement is another reminder that true love doesn't come twice. As months pass, the mask he wears begins to crack. The people around him notice the restlessness, the short temper, the inability to stay content. His true love once balanced those flaws with patience, but without her, the flaws stand exposed. What he once hid behind charm and confidence now leaks through. His collapse becomes visible to everyone who thought he had it all together. He starts to question himself late at night, though he'll never admit it out loud. Did she really love me that much? Did I push too far? Could I have done better? These questions torment him because the answers are obvious. Yes, she did. Yes, he did. And yes, he could have. The torment lies in knowing the chance to fix it is already gone forever. The narcissist also feels jealousy in ways he cannot control. Seeing her move forward, finding joy in small things, or even smiling without him feels like betrayal in his eyes. But deep down, he knows it's not betrayal, it's healing. His jealousy isn't about her moving on, it's about him being left behind. That realization fuels his collapse because it proves she never needed him. Regret begins to take physical form. Sleepless nights turn into exhaustion. Constant stress eats away at him, and his health may even begin to show the strain. He can't escape the weight of knowing he destroyed the person who cared for him the most. The body reflects what the mind denies, and his collapse is no longer only emotional, it starts to affect every part of him. When he hurt his true love, he underestimated how much she held his world together. She softened his harsh edges, gave him patience when no one else would, and believed in him when he doubted himself. Now that she's gone, he feels the harshness of life in full. Without her shield, he is exposed to consequences he never faced before, and it terrifies him. The narcissist may return with apologies, but even those are tainted with pride. Instead of admitting full responsibility, he blames circumstances or claims misunderstanding. These half-hearted confessions only push her further away. When they fail, the collapse deepens. He realizes that even his once powerful words no longer carry weight. The power of apology is useless when it comes too late. He may cling to memories as a way to soothe himself. Old pictures, past conversations, or places they visited together become obsessions. But instead of comfort, they bring pain. Each memory is a reminder of what he lost and of the role he played in losing it. Nostalgia becomes a prison, keeping him trapped in the past because the future feels empty and broken. Ultimately, the narcissist learns too late that true love is not infinite. It can be tested, stretched, and even forgiven many times, but once broken beyond repair, it cannot be revived. Hurting his true love wasn't just a mistake. It was the destruction of his best chance at happiness. The collapse he faces is permanent, because no mask can hide the truth he now carries. As he reflects, he begins to see patterns. Every relationship he touched carried the same outcome: control, manipulation, then destruction. But this one was different. She was the only one who truly stayed through the storms, and now she is gone. The realization that he wasted something so rare haunts him. It marks his life as divided into before and after her. The collapse isn't always visible to outsiders. He may still laugh, work, and charm, but inside he feels empty. That emptiness grows like a void, swallowing moments of happiness. The knowledge that he hurt his true love becomes a secret burden. It is the quiet voice that whispers when the world is silent, reminding him that he destroyed something he will never regain. Some narcissists spiral deeper, trying to numb the pain with distractions. They chase success, wealth, or admiration to drown the regret, yet none of it replaces the depth of her love. Each victory feels shallow, each compliment meaningless. The emptiness lingers because no achievement can undo the damage he caused. What was once a source of pride now feels like dust in his hands. When he sees her strength, it cuts him the most. She isn't begging, she isn't chasing, she is living. That quiet strength becomes his worst punishment, because it proves he never broke her the way he thought. Instead, she broke free. Watching her thrive confirms the truth he doesn't want to face. The only person truly broken by his choices is himself. Regret often turns into obsession with the what-ifs. What if he had chosen to listen? What if he had valued her? What if he had loved her the way she deserved? These thoughts replay endlessly, with no resolution. The torment lies in knowing it's too late. The future he could have had with her no longer exists, and that loss is entirely his fault. The collapse grows as years pass. New faces come and go, but none measure up. He finds himself comparing everyone to her, realizing too late that she was unique. What he once took for granted now feels priceless. His arrogance blinded him, and now his memory becomes both comfort and punishment. The more he remembers, the more he understands the depth of his loss. Shame becomes his shadow. He may not admit it, but deep down he knows he destroyed the one love that was real. That shame shapes his decisions, his relationships, even his self-image. He may overcompensate with arrogance, but the truth doesn't go away. The collapse isn't loud anymore. It becomes quiet, gnawing, and lifelong. His true punishment is carrying shame he cannot escape. At times he may try to return, but by then, her heart has already healed. The door he assumed would always stay open is closed. This shocks him more than anything else. For the first time, he realizes love has boundaries. His belief that she would always forgive was wrong. That realization shatters him, proving his actions didn't just hurt her, they ended everything forever. The collapse leaves him with emptiness where connection should be. He becomes surrounded by shallow bonds, People who admire the mask, but not the man. And though he may smile, inside he knows the truth. The one person who truly loved him is gone. He traded loyalty for control, devotion for pride, and love for ego. That exchange left him with nothing but regret. In the end, when the narcissist realizes he has hurt his true love, he faces a truth that cannot be undone. The collapse is not just emotional, it's spiritual. He destroyed the one chance at genuine connection, and no mask can cover that loss. While she heals and grows stronger, he is left haunted by the love he destroyed. That becomes his greatest and eternal punishment.